Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, episodes 13 through 15. That is the season finale as well. This is my reason for being so late with this show. I've been putting it off because this season, it started out with so much potential. You know, I don't mind the two additions and I love Jen Fessler. But it's just the storyline. It just seemed like I was talking about the same thing every episode. And I just hate when I'm reviewing Housewives and it feels like a job, more so like Salt Lake City. Now, I'm not going to abandon Jersey, but you know, I was just like, you know what? I could put it off to the next week. So now I'm finally getting to it, Jersey fans. Teresa or Melissa, one of them have to go. And as y'all seen in the articles, they put this franchise on pause for good reason because they don't even know where to go with it. You can't bring the two of them back. They're not even speaking to each other at this point. None of the ladies want to get involved in it. So yeah, they need to do a cash shakeup. But with that said, y'all, let's get into these episodes. I'm going to try to make this an express review, but I can see this being maybe 30 to 35 minutes, so grab your cocktail and get comfortable. So we start this episode with Danielle. I mean, y'all know how much I like her. Her mom is coming over, who's giving like a Jamie Lee Curtis vibe. She's showing her the gift that she's going to give Teresa because, you know, she's so far up her ass. I just don't get authentic from Danielle. Like, again, like, I hate when the wives that come on the show, like, they come on the show as a fan and they're trying their best to, like, I don't know, they're just too self-aware to come off genuine. So now we see Danielle lying to her mom about the island trip, saying it was a bunch of mean girls. She was holding on by a thread. Girl, save it. We have the footage of you being messy from the very beginning and talking about Margaret and then wanting to know these rumors about Melissa. If you can't take the heat with being confronted about your trifling ass, then you need to get off the show. Rachel just couldn't let it go. And I called her a rat. She just couldn't let it go. I just can't watch this given her version of events. Fast forward. So then she's telling her mom that she knows the rumor about Melissa and she already said it on camera, so Melissa's gonna find this out eventually. And then her mom advises her that she should be the one to tell Melissa. Now, wouldn't that make you a rat though? Woo, so thank God that scene is over. Next scene we're with Rachel and her husband, and I think they're going down to the lawyer to find out whether she can adopt her stepson. This is her plot line for the season. I just recently saw in an article that she successfully adopted her son. Now, he is like, you know, almost 18, but I get it. She said she was around since he was in single digits. I mean, I'm not sure what took her so long, but good for her. The great thing about this is, since we know that she successfully adopted her stepson, then we don't have to watch this scene. So fast forward. Next scene, we're with Jennifer in her big tacky house, and we find out that Teresa's daughters came to her to help plan the surprise engagement party. And she's also up Teresa's ass, so she couldn't wait to get to it. She's also going to add some of her Turkish culture to it, which I remember watching the engagement party and just felt really out of place. Side note, do y'all notice that Jennifer's youngest daughter loves being in front of the cameras? Like, she has 5 kids, but we just always see that one. I mean, I love it, but it looks like her other kids don't care about being in front of the camera. Isn't her daughter in single digits? Why is she saying that her mom needs to wear lingerie for her dad? We then cut to Jennifer in her confessional, now blaming Margaret again for something, this time for her daughter talking about lingerie to her parents. Like, this is getting out of hand. Like, girl, hold yourself accountable. You decided to sign the contract to put your life on TV for everybody to be in your business. Please, like, stop making Margaret a scapegoat. Also, I really hope Jennifer and Bill don't get a divorce because that 9-year-old is going to crumble if that happens. And speaking of divorce, here go Jennifer and Bill like bickering again. Well, actually Jennifer bickering at Bill so he can be a better father to his kids. I'm glad Jennifer found her voice in this relationship. I just hope it doesn't end in divorce court. The only silver lining is if that does happen, then she's definitely guaranteed at least 2 more seasons on this show. She's really trying to get Bill to go to therapy with her, and he's telling her that he's just not interested. His excuse is, it seems like you're the one that has most of the problems, so it seems like you need to go to therapy. Next scene with Teresa and her daughters to go get fitted for their dresses for her wedding. I mean, to give Teresa credit, she's very endearing when she's talking about how much she loves her daughters or the memory of her mother. In this scene, she refers to her vagina as a chuckalina, and I'm just really curious of the correlation of the term. So then we see Gia FaceTime her dad, Joe Giudice, to show all his daughters in their bridal gowns. And he has a scene with Teresa, and she's saying that, Joe, I'm hoping that I told them I pray for you every night, that you could come back here. I mean, I guess it's nice to see they're in a better place these days with each other compared to the earlier season when he said my bitch wife. I'm sorry, but I would still choose Joe Gorga over Joe Giudice. The Gorgas are the lesser of two evils. So next scene we're with Margaret and Lexi, Margaret's mom, and I'm thinking this other old woman is Lexi's mom. They're just having a heart-to-heart because Lexi's going through a divorce and she's staying with Margaret temporarily. It looks like Margaret's been trying to get Lexi on this show in some capacity. I'm sure she tried to make her a friend of too, but she just seemed like, you know how Candy is to Carmen? This is how Lexi is to Margaret. As they're talking, the conversation then goes to how Teresa's just so nasty to Melissa and Joe. Now, while I agree with that, it's just crazy how that topic just came up. Like, I'm just tired of hearing about that family dynamic. Mostly because it just sucks everyone in, so everyone just can't stop talking about it. Lord, next scene we're with Melissa and Joe at their not so great looking house. I don't know. Joe needs to stop designing their houses. Anyway, this scene is pretty staged. She's talking to her daughter about how she's on the honor roll or some shit. But she does do something really nice for her. She surprises her with her car that her grandmother pulls up to the driveway in. And it's a real genuine reaction. And it's nice that, you know, we get to see Joe and Melissa's kids, because it always seems like we only see Teresa's kids on this show. A little later, Melissa and Joe then have a little discussion with each other about their relationship with Teresa. It's a bridal shower coming up, not an engagement party. Isn't it the same thing? I mean, look, I'm gonna never be married, so who cares? But Melissa basically saying she's just tired of trying, tired of walking on eggshells. She said this bridal shower coming up, she's just gonna, you know, stand to the side. So, you know, everything can go smooth just so they can be at this wedding with their kids like a normal family. And after this, she is done. Girl, we are done too. Like, I'm tired of them talking about it. I am. Like, this wedding has just made everything worse, including Louis the Lobster, which we will get to eventually. Finally, next scene we're with Dolores and she's meeting up with Frank for lunch. It's like the only plot line of the show that I'm tuned into. The purpose of this meetup is for Dolores to discuss her boundaries and Paulie to Frank. Oh, Frank, how he comes into this nice restaurant in this biker leather vest. And then, of course, Dolores can't help herself. She's like, what you one of the village people? So first they're talking about this dinner they're all having soon with just the family, but Dolores wants to bring Paul, and then Frank is saying, no, it's just supposed to be us four, a family. Dolores is like, well, you know, Brittany can come. Frank is like, I don't want Brittany to come. Dolores is trying to break it down to him now that it's different because the two of them weren't in serious relationships now. So Paul is coming. They're discussing Paulie now, and Frank says that he thinks Paulie is intimidated by him. Oh, it looks like Frank is coming from a genuine place. He was just like, you know, I always used to call you. You know, I used to call my mom all the time. My mom's not with me, so, you know, I call you. Like, he kind of depends on Dolores, like, almost like a security blanket. But again, I get Dolores' boundaries. Like, when you got a man, like, you can't, like, you have to divide that friendship. Maybe it gotta be different in straight world or something, but I just know that can't be acceptable. Y'all let me know in the comments. Not Frank getting teary-eyed. Come on now. But you know what? Men are allowed to cry. I'm just saying, it's just funny coming from Frank. Dolores really is that chick, like, fuck your feelings. Like, feelings, crying. Have you ever seen Dolores cry on this show? It kind of reminds me of Giselle from Potomac because we rarely see her cry. I think we only seen her cry once on the franchise. Like, now I'm trying to wonder, has Dolores ever cried? I can see what Dolores is saying now. It's just like, you can still call me, but just boundaries. Like, you can't call me at midnight, 2 a.m. in the morning, shit like that, or call me all day. I got a man now. Side note, I really love this dark hair on Dolores. Like, mama looks good. So by the end of this conversation, Frank agrees to have dinner, with the family. Paulie's invited, as well as his girlfriend, Brittany. So next scene is the day of Teresa's bridal shower. We see Jennifer, like she's greeting people or whatever. She really thinks she's like the maid of honor. She is really trying to climb her way, well, I should say claw her way up the totem pole with Teresa. So then meanwhile, we see an unsuspecting Teresa with her other two daughters on her way to the event. With her, it's just wedding, wedding, wedding. That's all she's talking about. Wait, her daughter in the back seat, Adriana, she's 12? 12. That girl looked like she's 17. Wow. So then Teresa gets a call from Louis. She puts him on speaker. He's talking about the upcoming dinner. It looks like the whole cast is invited, but then we hear him say that he doesn't want Joe or Melissa there. And I'm like, wait a minute. Weren't you the one like trying to promote peace, between both parties? What happened with that? The look of shock on Teresa's face says everything, like, oh, we've been caught. And she says, babe, we're on camera right now, just letting you know. And she probably thought production wasn't going to air that, but they are. So yeah, like that's the real Louis. Sociopath Louis the Lobster. So then Louis' response when she tells him, he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, you know what? They deserve each other. Anywho, she then tells Louis that he needs to invite everybody to the dinner so she can try to save face in this moment right now. Because she know they fucked up. But yeah, Teresa and Louis the Lobster, they both do their dirt in the dark. So I don't think Melissa and Joe, as annoying as they are the villains in this situation. So then after she gets off the phone with Louis, like her daughters are even in on it. She's telling them that, Joe and Melissa are invited. They're like, why? The family now is done. Like Teresa already got her daughters involved, even though we saw that Melissa is trying her best not to get the kids involved. Like that family is forever fractured. Her daughters aren't stupid. They know what's up. And of course they're going to take their mom's side. I mean, y'all saw how they took their trifling ass dad's side. So then Melissa arrives at the bridal shower. It looks like she's coming in for work. She looks like she does not want to be there. She's basically on Teresa's turf. We see Louis' sister, who is definitely already bonded with Teresa, and is probably closer to her than Melissa is. And something just looked creepy about her. Oh look, we have a cameo from Ashley Darby of Potomac. I stand by what I said. I don't want to see anybody from Potomac until 2024. I mean it. So it looks like most of the ladies have arrived, and I think Melissa's being asked about how she feels about Teresa. Have they seen each other since Ireland? And she says no. And she says she just feels bad that she has to walk on eggshells at this event. Like she really is like treating this bridal shower like jury duty. Like she does not want to be there. Oh Lord, here go Danielle. Like, I don't know why she feels like it's her duty to tell Melissa the rumor that Jennifer and Teresa heard. All right, so Teresa walks in, she's surprised. The ladies are putting aside their differences for now. Well, the ones that have beef, so they can all just have a good cordial time. So then during the lunch, Teresa gets up and makes a speech, and she pretty much thanks everyone in the room except for her sister-in-law. But from the outside looking in, Teresa don't like her sister-in-law, and the feeling is mutual. So I'm not sure why Melissa would expect a shout out from Teresa. Like she's only inviting you here out of obligation. We cut to Margaret's confessional, and she's saying that from her perspective, it just feels very intentional on Teresa's part. And I can get that too because, like I said, Teresa likes to throw the rock and hide her hand, and I think she's too stupid to play dumb. Laura, so here we go. We get a separate scene at the party. It's Melissa, Jackie, who I didn't even realize was there, and Teresa's trainer, who sounds like she smokes 10 packs of cigarettes a day. Like I told her the other day, like enough with this, you got one brother. Melissa, again, she just looks defeated over the situation and she's just going along to get along. Okay, so it looks like they're doing some other celebratory shit with Jennifer's culture, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's happy, and that is where the episode ends. Let's get to episode 14. And side note, this is probably going to take me 2 days to finish because I got to go to work in 10 minutes. So yeah, if you see me change my shirt or it's at nighttime, that's why. But yes, let's continue. So this episode starts off on a fun note. We're at Marge's house and she's inviting over Jim Fessler, her mom, and her aunt over. Now the fun thing about this is her mom and aunt are twin sisters who are in their 80s and still dressing alike. Very interesting. I mean, it's cute. Also, I totally forgot how horrible looking the inside of Marge's house is. It really is just a clusterfuck of funhouse furniture. They're also joined by Marge Sr. and also Jen Fessler. She says in her confessional, well, you know, my mom and aunts, they were friends with Barbara Streisand. Jen Fessler is just staying name dropping. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just an observation. Oh, these twin ladies came ready for the camera. They're ready for their close-up. So they all just kikiing at the table. We get a little background on Jen Fessler's mom and aunt, and then they're talking to them about their friend group. Of course, Marge is going at it with Danielle right now, and I agree with everything she's saying about her. She's annoying as fuck. And here they go again, talking about Teresa and her drama, shit that has nothing to do with them. It's like Teresa's family issues are talked about in every single scene, and Teresa's not even in them. So next scene, we have the Frank and Dolores family dinner. So first it's Paulie and Dolores come in, and then it is Frank, their kids, as well as Frank's girlfriend. I feel like this moment is long overdue because we rarely see Paulie and Frank in the same scene. And I'm sure it's not a coincidence. Okay, a little side note. I'm just listening to their food order, and Frank's girlfriend, really? A filet mignon well done? I will judge you. I'm sorry. Steak should not be cooked over medium. I'm just saying, look, sue me. Honestly, I think Dolores and her family can have their own spinoff, and I would watch. So everything's going well so far. We're getting a little more background on Paulie. Frank's girlfriend, just sit back and eat your food, darling. Ask Paulie, who's from Ireland, when he came to the States, did he have problems speaking English? Lord have mercy. I mean, I should have known by the well-done filet mignon. But anyway, so there's a little playful friction between Paulie and Frank when Frank asks him, so you got an engagement ring? So what's next? Y'all living together? And Paulie says, yeah, I got the ring already. We don't know if he's joking or serious. He doesn't expound upon it. Frank is talking about his relationship with Brittany. Brittany, they give us her age. I did not know that she was 26 years old. Really, Frank? Isn't Frank approaching 60? Frank's girlfriend is younger than my little brother, who was born in 1995. Oh, so it looked like the dinner went well. It wasn't like a Teresa and Joe Gorga family blowout. It's nice to see. So next scene, we're with Teresa and Louis talking about what? The wedding. I'm just waiting for them to bring up Melissa and Joe, because that's really what this scene is probably about. Yep, there you have it, 20 seconds into the scene, Joe and Melissa. She has a rehearsal dinner coming up. She's saying, can Melissa even make it? Like, Teresa, you don't even care if she comes. You don't want her to come. Stop with the act. Like, we even saw it in the last episode. Like, Louis didn't even want to invite Melissa and Joe. Wow, Teresa's really blaming Joe and Melissa for everything. Like, her fighting with her husband was because of Joe. The reason why her brother is acting up, because of Melissa. She takes no accountability. And Teresa's doing all this revisionist history as if the audience hasn't seen the last 12 years of her life. As far as Louis the Lobster, we see him not even trying to be the peacemaker anymore. Like, it's like fuck Melissa and fuck Joe to him too. Okay, so if both sides are done, please, thank God, it's gonna be over next season. I don't wanna see these two together anymore. Oh Lord, next scene is with Danielle. My finger is on the fast forward button. Okay, she's talking to her mom about her business, and then the conversation turns to her and her brother, which I don't care about. Fast forward. So next scene, we're with Jennifer helping her brother, who just moved back to the States with his new wife, into an apartment that I think she helped him get, as well as completely furnished. Really nice gesture. And then she has a little scene with him talking about her husband Bill, like their marriage problems, how he doesn't want to go to therapy. All her brother can do in this situation is just listen to her talk and nod. With Jennifer though, what else is going on? What else? Her solo plot line just ain't doing it for me. Like, honestly, like, the only solo plot line I'm interested in is Dolores. And there's like 6 other women on the show. Dolores can't do all the work. So yeah, I just haven't been motivated to even review this show. Next scene, we're with Rachel, and we know her plot line, you know, trying to adopt her stepson, who is 17. They're talking about it again, and I think that since we know that she was successful, like I said earlier, in adopting her stepson, we don't even need to see her solo scene. So fast forward. I like you, Rachel, but you know, I got a whole other episode to do. So next scene, we get a little short scene between Melissa and Joe. I'm thinking there's an event that's going on that's hosted by Dolores. It's a prohibition theme, so I'm guessing they're gonna be dressed like Great Gatsby. Y'all already know how I feel about that. I totally forgot Melissa and Joe was on the show. Like, they've only been on here for like 5 minutes this episode. As they're doing a little montage of all the ladies getting ready for the party, I'm just noticing, like, no one has a nice looking house. Well, except for Paulie, and that's it. But otherwise, I think this franchise has some of the worst houses. So we're back with Melissa and Joe, and I guess they're talking about other people's business besides theirs, because I don't think they have any business that's outside of Teresa and Louis. So they're calling Frank to see if he's going to Dolores' event at Paulie's house, and he says he is, which is great. So it looks like the dinner really made some progress between the two of them. So now we're with Bill and Jennifer, I guess, has been talking to Laura yet again because she wants to get back at Margaret for embarrassing her last season, really getting her. And she's saying that, I'm guessing Margaret's text messages have leaked. Her ex-friend Laura's still been talking to the group. And now the Melissa rumor that Jennifer knows, she's saying that's the reason why Melissa didn't go after Margaret last season. Even though Teresa was wrong in that scenario between her and Margaret. Remember, she like pushed all that shit on Margaret? The only thing Margaret did was just repeat the shit that was out there about Louis. And no one else wanted to talk about it because they were all afraid of Teresa. So then I'm guessing Teresa expected Melissa to tell Margaret shut the fuck up, even though, like, Melissa had nothing to do with that. Danielle, you just got here. No one cares about your opinion on the matter. She just made it her sworn duty to let Melissa know about this rumor that has been passed to her own sister-in-law and Jennifer, who haven't told her. So they're expecting the new girl to tell Melissa about this. So next scene, we're with Teresa and Louis again, and I'm sure they're going to talk about Melissa and Joe. Let's see how soon they're going to talk about it. Oh, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I just paused it and then, oh, my brother. Teresa, he's not taking your call because you're a toxic wench behind the scenes. And here go Louis, red-faced ass. He's gonna do something to irritate you. I'm tired of it. It's such a shame. I feel so bad for you guys. You shouldn't go through this, Teresa. Louis is just really riled up right now. He is really just like feeding all this shit to Teresa right now. And she's just sitting there nodding her head like a dumbass. They're really just creating their own narrative right in front of us. This is really just some psycho shit. And Louis, like, we're seeing the real Louis right now. He's done a complete 180 in 3 episodes. Wow, he really just unleashed on Melissa and Joe just now. Like, this is a soliloquy, y'all. Well, all right, that's finally over with. So then he walks out and leaves the room. I'm guessing they're saving a little party for the season finale. Oh, let's get through it, y'all. I heard the finale was pretty good. This is episode 15. I'm so glad, like, Housewives of Jersey is the only franchise that is, like, the shortest. And it's probably because they pay so many people. Like, the husbands are on payroll on this franchise. But yeah, let's get into the season finale. Hopefully it's worth it. So we are finally at the season finale, and they hit us with some Shonda Rhimes shit. 12 hours after Dolores' party, we see the aftermath. We go from wife to wife. We get flashbacks of this party that went out of control, which we have yet to see. We then see Melissa on the phone with Dolores just saying, like, she's not coming to the wedding, basically. I'm guessing she heard the rumor or whatever. Like, how can I support someone else's marriage when they're constantly trying to destroy mine? And Melissa makes a point. But yeah, let's get into this party because now they go back to 12 hours earlier. So we're at Paul and Dolores' house. They're overlooking all the decorations. Everything looks great. Dolores looks great. I said it once and I said it again. I love Paulie's house. It is so nice. I think it's because on this franchise, we see so many McMansions and ugly houses that it's just actually surprising when we see a nice looking house. So as everyone's arriving to the party, like, I'm just looking to see, like, where did it go left and who started all of this? A couple of observations on this party so far. So the men, for some reason, they all look like wait staff. And then, you know what I love to do on Jersey at parties like this? Count the black people. I don't see any. Do y'all? So it looks like the only people missing so far is Teresa and Louis the Lobster. Everyone's having a great time right now. Everyone's cordial. So that leads me to believe that the problems start when Teresa show up. Oh, Lord, here we go. So Danielle was talking about how she was upset at the shower in the last episode because She saw somebody talking about their sibling again, so she was triggered. It's just all about her. No one cares about your situation. Yes, we feel sorry about your brother, but you haven't given us any further details of that situation for it to make sense to the audience. So I want to stop hearing about it. And we're still talking about the Rachel versus Danielle situation. Like when she went and told Margaret what Danielle said. Still, episode 15, the last episode of the season, we still talking about that, Danielle? Get over it. Even though we've heard this topic about 20 times now, Rachel does break it down in good layman terms for Danielle's dumbass. It looks like she's finally understanding Rachel's perspective on it. So then we get off the brother topic, and Danielle's kind of alluding to Melissa and Rachel that she knows something else that went down in Ireland. It's been weighing heavy on her. So it looks like we're about to get it early, the reveal. Anyway, it looks like they put a pin in the conversation and get back to the party. All right, so Teresa and Louis finally arrive to the party. Of course, the cameramen, they go straight to Melissa and Joe's expression. We do see as Louis greeting everybody that he completely ignores Joe Gorga. And here goes the side conversations. Like, no one's addressing the elephant in the room, but they're all like, talking to them separately saying, oh, well, what do you think? Louis and Teresa's here. Like, how are you feeling? Then they go to Louis and Teresa telling them, oh, well, I know you guys have a lot of issues and sweeping under the rug, but let's just have a good night. If that's the case, if everyone at the party's going to talk about it privately amongst each other, they might as well just all get out in the open. Teresa wants to be in her love bubble. She just wants to be happy. She wants peace. So then we cut to Jennifer and Danielle tells her that she's going to tell Melissa tonight what was told to her by Jennifer, something that Teresa knows and allegedly Margaret knows as well. Why would they do this 3 days before the wedding? I don't know. I feel like if Danielle didn't open her fucking mouth, then none of this would have never happened and the Gorgas would have been at Teresa's wedding. But let's find out. Danielle keeps trying to make the argument that she's trying to be a good friend by telling Melissa. It's so calculated, and I hope Melissa at the reunion sees through her bullshit. So here we go. Danielle pulls Melissa to the side. They go on the couch, and here we go. So Danielle tells Melissa the rumor that she thinks Melissa doesn't know about. So Melissa gags her and says, you know what, let's be fucking honest. You know how I know this rumor already? Because Teresa went and told my husband behind my back that I cheated on him. Ha! She knew already. And that leads me to believe that Teresa, she told Jennifer this too and knew Jennifer would spread this around the group. And then Teresa and Jennifer diabolical asses are trying to put this all on Margaret. So this is what I think, y'all. I know Teresa squad, y'all like to protect y'all girl, but Teresa ain't shit. Melissa is now going down the timeline of all the times Teresa has tried to fuck with her marriage. And look, the cameramen have the proof. Melissa says in her confessional that she knew about this rumor already and just never approached Teresa about it. And she wanted to just keep the peace. This all makes so much sense now. Melissa is a saint, y'all. Like, compared to the shit that Teresa be trying to do. Like, Teresa's been trying to fuck up Melissa's marriage for years. I don't know why people keep trying to disregard that fact. Melissa continues to clock the bullshit, and once again, Teresa's trying to throw the rock and hide her hand. This is some underhanded shit. Meanwhile, the other ladies are watching Melissa and Danielle like hawks right now, and Margaret sees that her name is being mentioned. Clearly, Danielle is still trying to like stick Margaret with all this mess when Melissa already told her, like, girl, I heard the rumor already from Teresa. It don't matter. Like, she's the one that went to my husband behind my back. Okay, so Margaret finally enters the chat because she ain't never scared. And she's like, I keep hearing my name mentioned. And then Melissa's like, oh yeah, we're talking about Laura's stuff and the shit that she said. So Margaret is going off on Danielle right now. Why are you talking about somebody that you don't even fucking know? Danielle then gets up, gets in Margaret's face. They're going back and forth. Now we getting all the hands and stuff like that. Margaret is fully activated. She's getting the attention of everybody at the party. Everyone's wondering what's going on. So of course Margaret and Danielle are being separated right now. All the other ladies are there. Melissa then says, well, let's talk about the people that told her this. These two. You two are such losers. And then Teresa's like, who are you talking to? You talking to me? And then she's like, yes, I'm talking to you. You went behind my back and told my husband that I was cheating on him. And then now Teresa's like, wow, trying to play stupid again, but Teresa is too dumb to play stupid. So far, I'm very entertained right now. I mean, getting through those last 2 episodes, this one's kind of worth it. So of course, when Teresa's being confronted about something that she did, she hurries up and takes off. Look at you. Then she looks at Dolores like, see what happened? See what she did? What did Melissa do besides call your ass out? So Melissa goes right after her and is like, what did you do, Teresa? You called my husband? Didn't you? You called my husband? Teresa's like, get away from me. So then we cut to Teresa's confession, and she said it wasn't her that told her brother, it was Louis. But who told Louis? Like, come on. Teresa, we not stupid. So now Joe is getting into the mix, and we cut to his confessional, and he's confirming that Louis was the one that called him and told him about this rumor concerning Melissa. So now Jennifer and Margaret are getting into it. They're going back and forth. Danielle, like, who's still a non-motherfucking factor in all of this, she's saying, why is Margaret Captain fucking America? Why is things being deflected off of her? So things really go off the rails when, you know, Margaret said that Bill slept with a subordinate, and Jennifer is like, oh, she threw herself at him. She threw herself. Oh, so you're not blaming your husband, sis? Really? So your husband, like, she just fell on his dick. I cannot. Jennifer, you are a clown. Jennifer's just going ballistic. Now, you're such a nasty person. She has to be dragged away. Margaret is getting it from all sides, but she is handling herself well, in my opinion. Melissa peeps game right now. She's like, thanks, Danielle. Thank you for starting. Like, if Danielle never said anything, none of this would have never happened. Danielle is just so thirsty to me. Like, she literally begged Jennifer to tell her the rumor that was told by Margaret's friend. Like, she got herself involved in this. So now we see the real Louis is coming out. It looks like he's trying to actually taunt Joe Gorga. He says something about Bo Diddle, like, know something about everybody in this room. I'm guessing this is the part when he says he, like, hired a private investigator on everybody. We get into that later, though. Now it looks like Melissa and Louis are having a back and forth. Now Joe gets up and says, don't talk to my wife. Like, I want to actually see Joe whip Louis' ass. Louis needs his ass whooped. Honestly, Teresa's karma, it's going to come back to her. Mark my words. Like, she's going to regret marrying Louis. And anything that happens in that relationship, she's going to deserve it. Just like her ex-husband that got her dumb ass locked up. So Joe and Louis are separated. Louis goes downstairs and then gives his own version of events that just happened to Teresa and Jennifer. So then they say they're leaving. Back upstairs, Margaret is blaming Danielle for all this happening. They're going back and forth. Danielle says, well, kiss my fucking fat, flat ass. What, girl? What, did you practice that at home before you got there? Ooh, this girl is whack. Wiggity whack. Poor Dolores. She just sitting there just like, child, whatever. So now everyone's leaving the party, and now we're getting the place cards for everyone at the end of the season. No one's really interested so far. You know I don't care about Danielle and her brother. Rachel, she's officially adopted her stepson, blah, blah, blah. Margaret, nothing interesting. Oh, so we just go right to the next scene. Like, they only did, like, 3 place cards. They did Margaret and the 2 new girls. I guess that means we're not going to see them no more this episode. So we're at Teresa's house right now, and Jennifer's coming over. This is basically the next day after the prohibition party. So of course they're talking about what happened the previous evening. Teresa thinks she did nothing wrong. Jennifer, of course, is kissing her ass constantly. Like, in this scene, she's basically opening up Teresa's ass to put her head inside. So then meanwhile, we cut to Melissa. She's chilling at her house in her backyard when Dolores calls her. And now we're back to the beginning of the episode when it was like 12 hours later. So I'm guessing this is the reason they didn't go to the wedding. And I don't blame them. Like, y'all don't even like each other to begin with. And I think this was just the final nail in the coffin. So then we cut to Joe in his confessional talking about how he knew the rumor. I'm guessing it was Teresa and Louis that confronted him about it, saying that there's multiple men. He should leave Melissa. Then he says he gets a call from Gia, from all people, telling him that he could do better than her aunt, and says, mommy thinks so, we all do. So Teresa told her whole family the rumor. Now, allegedly, they're saying that Gia never said this, but I don't know. Like, why would Joe make that up? This is pretty detailed. Dolores then tells Melissa, like, if you don't go to the wedding, it's over. And Melissa's like, yeah, you know what? It's been over. And look, it needs to be over. The audience agrees. I'm just glad we're finally at a point of no return with these two families. Like, something has to change, and I can't wait to see what season 14 is going to look like. So then we see Dolores is headed to Teresa's. She did tell that to Melissa, and she says, well, if they ask me, do they think her brother's going to go to the wedding, I'm going to say no, right? And Melissa confirms that to her. So Dolores is talking to Teresa and Jennifer. She's saying that she talked to Melissa and then telling them her side. And now Louis the Lobster joins the scene. So we see Louis, who sounds like a crazy person. He's saying that he knows this private investigator, that he knows everything about someone in this group. So you hired a private investigator, sir? And we're all mad at Margaret? So to Danielle's logic, does Louis have an arsenal now? You can also tell by the looks on Jennifer and Dolores' faces, like how strange Louis is coming off, but they don't say nothing. I mean, I love my girl Dolores, but even she never really holds Teresa accountable. Teresa's now in her confessional making herself out to be the victim. She says she's been dragged through the mud for over 10 years. She's tired of this. She's going to cut them out like she cut Kathy out. So then we get Melissa's final card. She says she's having a housewarming that Teresa and Louis are not invited to. It's chosen family only. We get Dolores' card, and it looks like she's hoping to be married soon. Now, I haven't talked about this in detail yet, but I'm hearing that Paulie isn't even like divorced yet. So I'm just wondering, like, what's that all about? And then they're trying to say that Margaret knew this information as well. Like, they are really trying to take down our girl Margaret. We then get Jennifer's card saying that her and Bill still working on their marriage. Look, I see divorce in their future. I give them 2 years, especially if she stays on here another season. And now, are we really ending it on this note with Teresa and Louis? Like, they're kissing each other, saying, like, they're relieved that Joe and Melissa aren't going to the wedding now. So then, yeah, they're embracing. That's where the episode ends. So the reunion is actually not next week. We're getting a Teresa Gets Married special. And y'all, I'm not sure if I want to cover it. Y'all let me know. I'm probably going to put up a poll to see if y'all want me to cover it. I'm not really interested. I don't really care. I'd rather just watch the reunion. So yeah, that was 3 episodes, y'all, that I reviewed back to back to back. I'm not sure if y'all can tell by the editing, but a few days went by me doing this review, so I'm finally done. I would love to know what y'all think about it. Whose side are y'all on after seeing all this play out? I'm sorry, I'm on Team Melissa, even though I don't care for either team. I think Teresa is full of shit. I think she's a narcissist, and I think her karma will be coming to her soon. Anywho, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the reunion. Bye.